So today I'm going to talk about fights in manga that have yet to be animated. But when they do get animated, they're going to change the world as we know it. When these episodes drop, you will feel it through the air. The earth will shake like an eldritch deity has just made landfall. You will hear the characters' names echoed through the wind on that day. Society as we know it will collapse, and what will remain is something new that we will build from the ground up. These are life-changing events coming up in our near future. At least I hope. Hey. So this is a video idea I thought of literally this morning in the shower. I had a whole different idea for a video to do this week, but as soon as I started thinking about this, I couldn't get it out of my head. I just started thinking about these fights and I was like, oh my god, I gotta talk about it right now. So here I am. So I wanted to limit the topic of this video to fights that will be animated, almost certainly. So the idea is to glaze. We're glazing this week. Honestly, guys, this video is 100% glaze. If you don't want to listen to a man glaze for 10 minutes or whatever this video is, get the hell out. Just get out of here. Ed's here. He's seated for it. I guess he's standing for it. Now he's seated. So this isn't like a ranking or anything. This is just me yapping about fights that I'm excited to see animated. So general spoiler warning for manga. I'm going to section off each series that I talk about here with a title card and a sound effect, so you will know when to click off of the video or to move ahead to a different segment. I'll timestamp everything in the description if you want to avoid spoilers for a series that you are an anime only for or currently reading through, whatever. So, in no particular order, let's just talk about these awesome fights that will hopefully be animated in the near future. So, first thing, gotta talk about it. It's Arthur versus Dragon. This is probably the most anticipated animated fight I can think of in recent memory. This is something that, since it happened in the manga, everybody has been waiting with bated breath for this thing to be animated. And the reason I'm putting this first is because this is the soonest to happen. This is going to be early next year, actually, is when we'll be getting the final season of Fire Force, and we'll get there. This is going to happen. Arthur versus Dragon will happen, and that's crazy to think about. I really hope it's done justice, because David Production is an inconsistent studio, especially with Fire Force. But if there's any one thing to go all out on in this entire series, it's this. And they know it. They know what they have on their hands here. I really trust that they won't mess this up, because they can't. They cannot afford to mess up this fight. This is what everybody has been waiting for. And I think most people will honestly be okay if every other episode in that season looks like shit, but they just nail Arthur versus Dragon. That's all that needs to happen. I'm fine with it. Whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I want to see the rest of it done well, but as long as they do well with this fight, we're golden. So this fight is phenomenal. If you've never read Fire Force, it's worth it just to get to this one fight. The entire Arthur B-plot, subplot throughout the entire series is just fantastic. I found myself sometimes even being more engaged with it than the A-plot. Not all the time, because the A-plot of Fire Force is also really interesting and engaging, but Arthur just has this charm to him and this draw to him that it makes it hard to not love him. And his final climactic fight here that he's been wanting for the whole series happens, and it's insane, guys. I can't even do this fight justice in words. It's just pure spectacle and wish fulfillment for both the character and the audience. It's everything you could have wanted it to be, and it's everything Arthur and Dragon could have wanted it to be. That's what's so great about the fight. It's everybody's happy. Everybody you're looking at, everybody reading it, it's perfect. It's one of the best fights in manga history. Dare I say it. I think it is phenomenal. And we're close. I am nervous about the anime adaptation of this fight because it's a lot. This is a stunning fight also, art-wise. And if they do it wrong, man, we got problems. But I want to put all of my faith in David Production here to make this happen. They can do it. I know they can. So let's see it happen. Next up, I want to talk about Black Clover, Magna versus Dante, guys. What a fight. What a fight. This fight is the crowning achievement of all of Black Clover. I'm a very big Black Clover fan. I really do love it. But this is just, it's a step above anything else in the series. And it's a step above most fights in manga in general. That's everything in this video, by the way. These are all fights that go above and beyond. They're a higher echelon. That's why I'm not even bothering to rank them, because they're all 11 out of 10 masterpiece fights. These are some of the best fights in recent manga, maybe even just manga of all time, to be honest. And they haven't been animated yet. But this one, we now recently have learned that it is 100% going to happen. Black Clover is coming back for season 2, which we don't know what that looks like quite yet, because the first season was, 100-something episodes long. I don't know if season 2 will have the same approach, or if we'll be going, proper seasonal anime structure from now on. But regardless, we're gonna see it. We're getting to the arc where this happens, and I cannot wait. This fight is just pure, it's manliness, and I'm not like a manly man type of guy, but damn, bro, you can just feel the testosterone leaking off the pages. This shit is crazy. This is just pure fisticuffs. They're just beating the shit out of each other. And it's amazing because you see Dante throughout this whole arc going toe-to-toe with really powerful characters that we know. But then Magna comes in and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Who cares? Like, what's Magna gonna do against this guy? But nah, he pulls out Soul Chain Deathmatch, one of the best abilities, moves, attacks, whatever you want to call it, ever. It's just so good and perfect for the character. Magna's a character, I don't want to say you forget about him a lot, but you kind of do. He falls to the background a lot, but that's intentional, because when he gets to shine, he shines the brightest in the whole series. He is just such a likable character, and in this moment, this is the climax to his whole character. We're never gonna see anything like this again from him, probably. This is his moment. This is it. This is like the Lee versus Gaara moment, except, Magna actually wins here. This, honestly, I think this is like Black Clover's Lee versus Gaara. It's just like, it's an underdog fight. You don't expect much from Magna, but he pulls up with the greatest fight in the series, and seriously, one of the best fights in manga ever. I love this fight. My jaw was on the floor reading this week to week. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had no expectations. Even at this point, honestly, the arc was kind of losing me. Like, the Spade Kingdom arc kind of drags. It spins its wheels a lot. But then this happens and it's just a reset. It gets you ready for like the final fights of the arc too. It like refreshes your mind. Like, okay, wow, this is so good. I don't even really care what happens after this. It could be the worst shit ever, but I'll probably still have a good time, because that fight just puts you in such a good mood for months. Like, it's not even just like a binge reading thing. I was feeling the after effects of that fight for months after reading that arc. Absolutely perfect, phenomenal fight, and we're getting it. It's happening. It will happen. It's in our future, guys. Finish line is almost there. We've waited long enough, but the waiting has paid off. Except we still have to wait an unknown amount of time. Hopefully next year. Maybe we'll get it next year. That'd be nice. That'd be 2 in 1. These first 2 that I just talked about, we'll get them both in the same year. How crazy would that be? Oh my god. I don't know if we could handle that. Alright, here it is. You know what? You love it. It's Demon Slayer. Kokushibo versus the Hashira. Not a one-on-one. It's the only non-one-on-one in this whole video. I've been using this word, crowning achievement of such and such, but it's just true. That's probably the same. That's probably a blanket statement for this entire video, to be honest. All of these fights are the crowning achievements of said series, except for maybe one of them, which I'll get to. I'm sure if you've been on the internet long enough, you've probably heard whispers of this fight. This is a legendary fight. If you talk about Demon Slayer, you're gonna talk about this fight. This is Demon Slayer's fight. Like, this is the one. And for good reason. It's incredible. It just grips you from start to finish and does not let go, man. It is visceral, it's brutal, it's smart. It does everything right. It is the perfect fight. It does everything you could possibly do right. There's times where you feel like you are in the character's shoes when faced up against Kokushibo because he is such a presence. You can just feel how powerful this guy is. He almost jumps off of the page and puts a sword straight to your throat. To me, he's the best antagonist of Demon Slayer. He far outshines Muzan, and Akaza is close, but I think Kokushibo is just a bit better because, man, he is just a monster. Nobody in that series has the same presence he does. And to have like some of the strongest characters we've seen in the series thus far up against him and struggling hard. You know, Gyome being probably the strongest of the Hashira. I'm no power scaler, but that's probably accurate. And even he's just completely sweating. I love every second of it. And the fact that not only are we going to get this fight animated, it's going to be a movie. We're getting movie level quality for this fight. That's going to be insane. And if you guys saw the first Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie, you'll know what the level of quality we can expect from it is. It's going to be insane. Everybody is going to be talking about this again. It's the same as the manga. When this happened in the manga, it shook the earth. Like, everybody was talking about it back then. But now that it's going to reach the general public, it's over, man. This fight is going to dominate the world. It's going to be an event. It's what I've been waiting for. Ever since they announced it was going to be a trilogy, I knew Kokushibo would be the second movie, and I cannot wait. I've been anticipating it so much. There's like not even a day that goes by where I do not fantasize about the second movie. It is just going to be that big of an event. And also the deaths that happen as a result of this fight are gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, some of the most well-done deaths in the series. They really just physically hurt to read. And of course, Kokushibo's flashback is also phenomenal. Incredible stuff all around. Nothing is wrong with this fight. Nothing is wrong with this part of the story. It is just perfect. Alright, you knew this one was going to be on here. Gojo versus Sukuna. Come on. You know, I talked about how the last fight is one of, if not the most hyped up fight in manga right now, in anime right now. But this is probably definitively number one. I think everybody and their mom is waiting for this to be animated with bated breath. This is the most anticipated event I can think of right now in the anime manga space. It's quite a ways away still. The anime is just about to start the Culling game adaptation, and, you know, that's a whole long ordeal. It's probably going to be a 2-cour season. But then once we get through that, it's not too long until we get to Gojo versus Sukuna. But and it could be a movie. Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen with that. It's kind of just a big question mark. But when we get there, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It goes without saying at this point, because I've been saying it for every one of these, but it is one of the best fights of all time. It's amazing for different reasons as the other fights, because this is like it's an intellectual battle, but it's also very like hand-to-hand brawly kind of deal. It has a mix of everything that can make a fight good. If you like reading fights or watching fights in anime and manga, there's something in here for everybody. You know, there's something to love about it for everyone, I think. Both the characters involved are the most hyped up characters in the whole series. And it's not like you hadn't seen the two of them fight individually before, and you've been like speculating, oh, what are their powers? It's not that kind of deal. But the fact that you see these two, it's the strongest versus strongest trope. Like, very literally, it's the strongest sorcerer of all time versus the strongest sorcerer of today. The fact that you see them both share the screen and fight each other is just unbelievable. It is such a spectacle. What can be said about this fight other than the fact that it is just going to blow everybody's minds when it happens? Obviously, it has the shocking ending too, which I'm really excited to see how they animate, you know, Gojo's death. It's going to be fascinating because it's done in a really unique way in the manga, unlike anything I've seen before, where it pretty much utilizes like a chapter break to kill him off. So I'm so curious to see what that looks like in animated form. And this is an adaptation that is in great hands. It's Mappa. I mean, they are one of the best studios around right now. It's going to look amazing when we get to it. It's just still kind of a long road to get to that point. But when we get there, it'll be well worth it. I cannot wait to see it. This is another one you probably knew was going to be on here. It's Hisoka versus Chrollo from Hunter x Hunter. Now, you know, I've been in the manga and anime space for a very long time, literally my entire life, actually, at least my conscious life. I was raised on anime, and I never really fell out of it either. And this fight is probably one of the most hyped up of all time, and it still hasn't been animated. This is, I'm not gonna call it old because that doesn't feel right, even though it's kind of getting old at this point. But Hunter x Hunter, you know, is a weird deal with the anime, and I mean, it's a weird deal with the manga too, where it comes and goes. And the anime just, I mean, it's in a weird spot right now because it can't really come back because there's no complete story to tell. Sure, they could do like a season, but it'll have a cliffhanger ending, and then when do we continue that? So it is probably best to leave the anime alone for the time being, but it's so frustrating to know that because of that, it means that this fight won't be animated until the current arc of the manga is over. At least that's what's likely. Who knows? Maybe I've, you know, long wanted like an OVA just to give us this fight. Something. Like just give us this and I'll shut up. You know, I need it animated so badly. I said this before in this video, but there's seriously not a day that goes by where I don't think about this. This is one of my favorite fights in manga ever. It is one of, if not the smartest fight I've ever read. Like, it's something that really, you need to read it, if that makes any sense. You cannot just look at the pretty pictures. You gotta read and understand what Hisoka's thinking throughout the whole fight and try to figure out yourself what Chrollo is doing. It puts you in Hisoka's shoes so well. And it's one of those things where it works so well as a manga that it's kind of hard to picture it as an anime, but not really. There's plenty of ways they can make it work, and it wouldn't be very hard either. Not that animating this fight won't be hard. I'm just saying, you know, as like a director or whatever, it wouldn't be very hard to make it work as a animated thing. But to make it look nice is a whole different thing. This is one that really, I don't know when or if this will get animated. I have to imagine one day it will, but who knows how far in the future that'll be. It's impossible to say. But whenever that day comes where this does get animated, lives will be changed. It's one of the best out there. And I'm not saying this shit just because I have a Hunter x Hunter podcast, all right? This is just that good. Anybody will tell you that. This has been hyped up for so long. Even before it happened, this was a fight that people were begging for. And then it happens and it blows everybody's minds. You know, this is also like one of those things where it's just impossible to avoid. Like, even if you are an anime only for Hunter x Hunter, which, bless your heart, man, I don't know how you do it. But you probably have heard about this. It's just, nobody can shut up about it. And that's because it's just that good. All right, I want to end off with a little bonus pick because I don't know if this will ever get animated. This one's actually old, okay? To some people, it will feel weird to call Soul Eater old in any capacity, but it's pretty old at this point. But I am, of course, talking about Black Star versus Mifune, round 3, if you want to call it that. But I mean, this is the one. And no, not the anime version. The anime did, I think, they ended up doing 3 fights as well, or maybe 2. I don't know how the anime worked. It's been a long time since I've seen the anime. If you don't know, the anime it derails and does its own story completely. I'm pretty sure it actually did the final Black Star versus Mifune fight before the manga even got there, which is crazy to think about. Under completely different circumstances. I think it's still good. I don't remember. So, I mean, if you want to be technical, it did get animated, but no, it absolutely did not. It's a completely different thing. This is a legendary fight. This shit changed lives back in the day. This was the fight to talk about. Like, you know, growing up with manga, being like a teenager in the manga space, this is one that everybody would point to as just as the fight. You know, this is the one that I'd hear about endlessly, even before I'd read the series. I used to be only an anime watcher for it, but I did end up reading the manga. And thank God I did, because wow, this is just such a well done fight on a thematic and just choreography level. Everything about it is done to absolute perfection. And it pains me to know that maybe it never will get animated. I don't know if we'll get like a Soul Eater remake that matches the anime, like a Soul Eater Brotherhood type deal, which is funny enough the same studio. But obviously David Production is doing the Fire Force anime right now, so maybe after that they would do a Soul Eater remake, but I don't know. I can hope and pray, because we need it. We need to see not only this, this is the thing to see, but we gotta see everything, man. I'd love to see so much of Soul Eater's late game stuff be animated, or even like mid game. I think the anime derailed like halfway through the manga story, maybe, even if that. And I don't remember the exact cutoff point, but I feel like it's kind of early. But yeah, I mean, this fight is simply just one of the best to ever do it. It's a timeless classic, and it will remain so forever, even if it doesn't get animated. But hey, if it ever does, brace yourselves, because it's gonna blow your mind. Alright, that's all I got for this video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on all the fights I talked about in this video, or maybe share some other fights that I didn't talk about in this video. There's plenty out there that will be awesome as well, but the things I didn't mention in this video, I probably know about or have read myself, but I just don't think they quite reach the heights that all of the ones I talked about here do. These are all in like a separate tier in my mind of just flawless, unbelievably good fights that will change the world as we know it, as I said. If you'd like, you can also become a channel member. You can become one at the Nice Prisoner tier, where you can get your name in the credits, or you can become a Super Nice Prisoner to get your name read out loud right now. So thank you to my Super Nice Prisoners, Braden Farrell, DJ Tengen, Milu Kitty, and Hexanen Zujidin. And also Halfpipe. Sorry, this was recorded before they became a channel member, but thank you to Halfpipe. Thank you all so much, and I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy, guys.